Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Webb.
And I'm Matt Lohman. And we meet with doctors every single day around the country, and constantly what they're asking us is, what do I do? Where do we go from here? How do we deal with Obamacare? How do we deal with the fact that my insurance reimbursements keep getting cut? And what they'll come to us is, I'm trying to find additional streams of income. And they've tried everything. They've tried Botox, weight loss, retailing supplements, selling protein bars and protein shakes. I mean, we've seen it all. And the truth of the matter is, they're not any good at it, and they don't want to do it. They don't even want to be good at it. They'll tell me, I don't want to feel like a used car salesman. I don't want to have to keep a bunch of inventory. I don't want to have to recruit a bunch more patients and increase my patient load just to survive, to maybe scratch out an additional $20,000, $30,000 a year tops with all of these ancillary services in terms of profit. And that's what we see. I mean, I go in their offices all the time, and I'll see half the stuff on their shelves is expired. It's not even good anymore, and they just don't know how to do it. They don't want to do it, and the truth of the matter is, the only reason they're offering it in the first place is because they're just trying to survive.
Doctors today, they're not having fun anymore. They certainly don't have freedoms that they had hoped for after spending all that time in school and practice and everything else. So, I mean, the truth for this, 30% of doctors just in the last 5 years have left practice, either going into corporate settings, hospitals, or out altogether. It's estimated that 30% more are going to leave over the next 2 years. This is causing doctors to actually have to close up their private practice. Private practice is going away. Doctors today are having to see, because of shrinkage of these reimbursements, they're having to see patients almost every 7 minutes. So, yeah, no wonder why they're not having fun anymore, and they're not generating revenues that ever even can get them to a point of having the freedom to have fun.
You're exactly right. And they'll ask me, they'll say, Matt, what do I do? I want something that I can drop in that's truly an additional revenue stream, which is smart, because they've identified the fact they need multiple streams of income. That means non-CPT code income. Multiple CPT codes isn't multiple streams of income. That's still insurance. So they need to have some cash income. They've identified that a lot of times, and they'll say, but I don't want it to change my patient flow. I don't want to feel like a used car salesman. I don't want to keep a bunch of inventory. I don't want to become a retail shop. I don't want to do that stuff. And so they'll say, can you bring me something that has that? And we talk a lot about that.
And it has to be simple. And yes. It has to do this and fit, it has to satisfy high patient demand. And when we talk about high patient demand, over 90% of the patient you currently see, they should fit this. It's got to have high patient benefit, meaning that the patient enjoys it so much and benefits that they will continue to use it, and it has to have high profitability.
That's a perfect trifecta. I mean, to be able to have high demand, high patient impact, and high profitability. Those three things are really key, and you hit on something that I think was also key, and it's got to be simple. It's got to be something that we can drop into a clinic pretty quickly. Our average clinic takes just a couple of weeks to get up and running, and they're on their way towards earning at least, and when I say at least, I mean our low performing clinic that is seeing an extremely low patient volume will generate at least $200,000 a year net profit. That's substantial for a single practitioner who's not seeing a lot of volume. And we've been able to do that. What does that do for a doctor? If you've got that freedom financially, I mean, what does it do?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to being able to earn that. I've had many coaches over my time. Of course, we've all gone to school. We've put $200,000, $300,000 into our education. Unfortunately, it didn't give us the education to be business people, entrepreneurs, and that's something I've chosen to go after, and it's allowed me to get to this point. So I do have the freedom, and it's enjoyable to be able to help other physicians like yourself earn that.
That's exactly right. It also gives you the freedom to treat the patients the way you want. You're not so stressed. You don't have to worry about seeing a patient every 7 minutes. If you've got $250,000 or $500,000 a year coming in cash profit, you can take a deep breath and relax and maybe get back to having some fun and enjoying what you do again.
Exactly. And again, that's additional revenue on top of what they're already doing.
That's exactly right.
If this makes sense, there's very few doctors we've talked to that are not looking for some additional means. And in other words, there's very few that we talk to that are completely satisfied. So if this makes sense, I suggest highly that you take us up on an opportunity here. We have dinner presentations that we do for physicians. We've got some coming up. The number will be on the screen here. call the number and schedule, find it, we'll get you some upcoming dates, and schedule time to come spend an hour and a half with us, where you'll learn everything you need to learn about this system. If you've got a significant other, please bring them along. I think it's important that they
I think
understand the
bring your
message.
significant other. I think bring your business manager, office manager, or key personnel. Get them there as well. This is my hope. My hope is that everybody would make an educated decision, not an uneducated decision. At least get the information. And if you say, hey, it's not a fit, okay. But if it's a fit, great. At least you got the information. The worst thing you can do is not take a little step of faith, a little bit of action to come find out about it, and you could really cost yourself significant income. You could cost your patients from getting the impact of it, and you cost yourself the free time.
So I think what you're saying is, just for this moment, please put your egos aside for just a little while. Show up for the talk. We'll have a great time. You'll learn a lot. And if it's a fit, great. We're going to have a lot of fun.
If you guys have any other questions, we'll be glad to answer them at the number. But to get RSVP'd, and we look forward to seeing you soon.